I'm Dr. Fred Ogola. I'm a professor of strategy and decision making at Strathmore Business School. I am also a director of TBS. In the news this week points us to a topic which we need to discuss on what is the cost of election and what the new government, if you like, the president needs to do immediately we have one in office, because the economy is doing so bad. So let's just get some features here. So one thing which is happening is that hotels are operating below half capacity just because of the fact that people are wary of this political standoff. The second thing is that Eurobond, NSE has fallen after Raila's Supreme Court protest of results. The other thing we have seen an expensive election with a lot of hidden costs. Let me tell you, one of them is that this election has cost Kenyan taxpayers 44.6 billion shillings, but that's direct cost. The other thing is environmental. You've seen so many posters for all MCAs, those who are in nomination. You can go up to the ones for governors, senators, MPs, presidential candidates. There's been a lot of driving up and down, pollution. So environmental impact is very big, and we're going to pay for that. Another thing is lost time because of closure of schools, businesses, different institutions have been closed while people are trying to sort out the election, and we are not yet over it yet because we are still going to Supreme Court. The other thing is violence. There have been some people who have been killed. You see there are commissioners, some of them, not commissioners, but actually returning officers, name them, some electoral officials, and also health problems. And these health problems are both physical and also mental. Some people are having mental sickness because of this election. Also, we have court cases which are now going to cost the IBC a lot of money. Now that Raila is in court, all other people are going to pay the cost, all commissioners. IBC has a commission. But this is not just presidential. We are going to go to the MP, we are going to go to MCA. So there will be a lot of money being spent on this thing. But the most important cost we are paying for here in the election, which is so hidden, is called time spent on poverty. What do I mean by that? During all this election, there have been so many busybodies. You like it, for example, those who have been campaigning for MCAs, whatever it is, those gatherings, churches, preaching, political rallies. You could see how crowds have been there, just coming to listen to somebody, then they go home. There's no productivity. Even people working in the campaign secretariat and the rest, they've been very busy. Those are what we call time spent on poverty. And now, even during the election, guys were busy tallying votes for Chebukati. Now, even so many Kenyans were downloading forms in the portal to try to tally. They are wasting their airtime, they are wasting their bundle in all these things. Now we have gone to Supreme Court. Now every Kenyan seems to be a law expert trying to analyze the sorts of evidence Raila has versus the ones coming from the counterfactuals coming from IBC and all that thing. So people are very busy in an electoral process, and not many people are very productive. Now if you meet people, every Kenyan, they're just busy politicking. Thus is a cost. Of course, the other thing we have seen is fuel subsidies. Treasury has built fuel subsidies, and in fact, Treasury is under what's called temporary seizure. They are not doing business now because President Uhuru Kenyatta is under temporary incumbency, so the Treasury is not doing much business. So that's another impact we see. And KQ has made serious losses, but of course they say that they have made 9.86 billion loss, and they're trying to say that 6 billion have come from fuel crisis because they didn't get subsidies for the jet fuel. And of course also we see bank loans have defaulted. In fact, to make it worse, that can you imagine that for the first time the defaulting in the banking sector has crossed a $500 billion mark, meaning that so many people will be facing what is called property seizures. Some people will lose their property through auctions and the rest. So that's how bad the economy is performing. So because the economy is performing so badly, what does the next government needs to do? So these are the 7 things I recommend the next government and the next president needs to be very keen on. If not, then the Kenyan economy may start suffering. Remember, the Kenyan economy is resilient until before the election, because remember that out in total countries in Africa, Kenya has done best, followed by South Africa and then Rwanda. But now, because of the electoral period, I've told you all those impacts and the standoff, Kenyan economy is now starting to have some challenge. So the first thing I think the next government needs to do, I don't care about your 100 days manifesto and all those things you've written. First of all, secure education. sustain recovery of this economy, secure education. Why I mean say that? Education sector is one of the heaviest spenders in government budget. And now that there have been closures, closures and opening, they have been hit before by COVID-19. Invest heavily in education, because not only are you creating human capital for the future, but at the same time you are creating what is called cash flow and revolving fund in the economy. The second thing you need to do as a president or government, let us move from jobs to better jobs. What do I mean by that? People have just been doing jobs because of the situations of COVID-19 situations. People have been paid very bad salary. They have accepted them. They are not very quality jobs because they don't make a lot of money in terms of taxation. Productivity is very low. People have just been taking just any job to make money. The informal sector is booming. It employs more than 75% of the Kenyan economy. We need to create a little bit of some white-collar jobs. We need to improve quality of jobs. And this is what will make the economy grow, because economy is sustained by formal jobs, not just casual jobs. The third thing that the government needs to do, that we have to rise above the waves. Remember this, when COVID-19 hit, we came out with so many measures to try to stop the economy from collapsing. But that was just about to keep us just not sinking. But rising above the wave means normalize this economy. Because this economy has been full of handouts, subsidies. There is no economy that can run forever on handouts and subsidies. Let us just look for how this economy can work for everybody, where the government collects taxes, people do decent jobs, create jobs. Let us create companies. Let's build companies to contribute to taxes. Let's generate economic GDP. Let us be productive, rather than always trying to supplement this guy, subsidize this guy, and subsidize that guy. That's a fake economy. That's why I say rise above the waves. The fourth thing is navigate the waves. What do I mean by navigating the waves? Now, after rising above the waves, just like a plane normally take off, then start cruising. Now, what we need to do is, how can we come up with very long-term policies that will make our economy grow? For example, how do we bring more capital in this country? For example, bring in foreign direct investment. How can we attract investors? How can we industrialize Kenya? How can we make a Kenyan economy grow much bigger? Of course, that comes through by talking about what is called fiscal policies that will boost productivity for the country. The fifth thing you need to do is improve economy through solid economic policy options. For example, we have always borrowed money from IMF, and we take what is called conditional facilities, which is just helping us to come out of the troubles we have. But we need to come out with what we call, for example, precautionary facilities, which is building our economy so that we don't get in trouble. Remember, conditional facilities is when you are in trouble, you get money to get you out of trouble. Precautionary facilities is that you don't want even in trouble for the first time. So you borrow money to build infrastructure, maybe invest in the national assets that will stop your country from being there in the first case. The sixth thing is secure your future growth. And that means, for example, support Kenya's digital transformation, which has been the biggest thing. Remember, Kenya beats Nigeria, and Nigeria has got very good ingredients. For example, Nigeria has got a strong population, very large population, the most populous nation in Africa. Nigeria has got aggressive people, but there's something Nigerians don't have. We have fiber technology. For example, fiber optics we have in Kenya makes internet move very faster. Creating business, running businesses becomes easier in Kenya than Nigeria, and Kenya becomes more innovative than Nigeria, and that's how we are doing better. So the next government needs to invest heavily on digital transformation, on what is called knowledge economy. That's where we need to go. And the last thing is unleash Kenya's private sector. Why are we saying that? We are saying this because private sector has been doing very well. Diamond Trust Bank has been expanding. In fact, of all these challenges we have, Equity Bank registered some of the biggest profit ever. And in fact, that is because the private sector is thriving. KCB is thriving. All that is working at Safaricom is thriving. But we have problems in public sector, private sector is working. When you work with private sector, you drive what is called inclusive growth, and again, you accelerate reduction in poverty. This is what the next government needs to focus on after we have faced all these challenges, where I said the total cost of election, if we add direct and indirect cost, has been 4.2 trillion to me. What do I mean by that? This is is bigger than the national budget, because the last budget we had was 3.2 trillion. Now the cost of election has been 4.2 trillion. And I can explain this in details, but this is not the role for this body for now. Nevertheless, the next government needs to do those 7 things so that we can go back to a very competitive economy in Africa. Remember, Kenya is very privileged and we are so resilient, and we can get there.